Hey Raiders, and welcome to the channel, especially the thousands of you who just subscribed to the channel in the last 3 days. I am overwhelmed and humbled by the reception of my raid guide content, so thank you so much. In this video, we're covering the final encounter, and don't worry, I know I still gotta get encounters 2 and 3 out there too, but they're coming. But today, the witness is going down, and your team is gonna make sure of it. So, let's parse this encounter down. Honestly, this is probably one of the least complex encounters for most of the people in your team in the raid. The things that'll wipe your team are getting too many stacks of Resonant Essence, like 4 will kill you, just like in the first encounter. Failing to draw simple shapes will kill you, and especially damage phase, dying on the plate. So we're going to cover all of those things right here, right now. To get to damage phase, your team has some freedom and agency here. There are a few different ways to set this up. I'll show you how we decided to do it after trying many methods. We just thought this was the least chaotic. And if you want to modify the roles for your team, you're free to do so. The arena is a V shape. There's a light-themed side and a darkness-themed side. Ads will constantly spawn on both sides, including Screebs and Weavers, which is an especially sinister combination. We found it best to have 4 people manage the ads, 2 on each side, to make sure that we don't get overrun, and it's safer for our runners to move around the arena without getting yanked by Weavers and blasted by Screebs. More on the runners in a second. Now, during this encounter, there will be 3 giant hands constantly bombarding the arena with attacks. Your goal is to destroy the hands to acquire the Glyph Breaker buff, and then use that buff to destroy the 6 buttons on the witness's jacket. So in total, you need to get the buff 6 times and break 6 buttons to send it to damage phase. So let's talk about how you get that buff. In order to get the buff, you need to destroy a hand. In order to do that, you have to do 3 things in sequence. Number 1, you need to pick a hand to attack. There are 3 different kinds of hands on the field. Here's my little infographic for you. There's the hand that comes down from the ceiling. This one creates triangular traps on the floor that do big damage when they detonate. It's the same attack as the very first encounter in the raid. This attack will always target a player specifically. So if you're looking for this attack, always look around where your teammates are gathered. Then there's the hand that comes up from the ground like a giant tree. This hand will do a mortar strike attack. It'll highlight a circle on the floor where it's going to launch bees from the sky. And that's where they're going to attack. And finally, there's the hand that comes in from the side horizontally. This one will highlight a straight line across the battlefield and then unleash a powerful laser blast similar to Ralk's attack in the Vow of the Disciple raid. To kill one of these hands, you need to do 3 things in order. First, you need to decide which hand you're going to attack and then go stand in the glow or the telegraph of the attack it's about to do. So, if I'm attacking the horizontal hand, I'll stand in the glow of the laser before he unleashes the attack, and I'll shoot the bracelet on his hand. That bracelet is then going to light up one of 2 colors. If we refer back to my visual aid here, if I step into the triangle shape on the floor and shoot the triangle hand that's coming down from the ceiling, and I shoot it in the wrist, it could light up either yellow or red. It won't light up its own color. It'll be one of 2, yellow or red. If it lights up yellow, it's telling me I need the circle resonance in order to break it. If it lights up red, it's telling me I need the square resonance to break it. So let's say I attack the laser beam hand instead. I step into the path of the laser, I shoot the wrist, it lights up either green or yellow. It cannot light up its own color. If it's green, it's telling me I need the triangle resonance to break it. If it lights up yellow, I need the circle resonance to break it. So that's step 1. Pick a hand, step into its telegraphed attack, shoot it in the wrist, and see what color it lights up. Now that we've seen the color we need, we move on to step 2. Step 2 is to simply go retrieve the correct resonance. If we saw a green bracelet, that means we need to go stand in the telegraphed attack of the triangle hand. That's the one that's hanging down from the ceiling. Like I noted earlier, this attack always targets a player, and it does big damage. So when you go and you stand in it, make sure you stand inside one of the corners, not in the very center of it. The center will kill you outright if you're caught in it. So you're going to stand just inside the corner, and you're going to wait there for about 2 to 3 seconds until you hear this loud, resounding "bah, wah, 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 wah." You're welcome for that. This is the game telling you that you have in fact received the triangular resonance, or the pyramidal is what it likes to call it. If when you shot your first hand and it showed you a yellow bracelet, this means you need to go to the bees attack. Find the circle on the floor, close to the hand that's coming out of the ground, stand inside the circle until you hear bah, wah, 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 and then get the heck out of there. You now have the circular resonance. And if the bracelet you saw lit up red, you need to go stand in the laser beam attack field until you hear the audio cue as well. Note that you do not have to shoot anything in step 2. You don't have to shoot any hands during step 2 of the process. You only need to step into the attack and acquire the resonance that you're looking for. That's it. Congratulations! Now you're on step 3 of breaking a hand. The final step is quite simple. You just repeat step 1. You're going to return to the hand you initially shot. You're going to step into its telegraphed attack once again and quickly shoot the bracelet now that you have the resonance that matches the color it showed. When you do this, the hand will explode and you'll be awarded the Glyph Breaker buff. You can now jump onto the central platform and shoot a button on the witness's jacket to break it. If you break 6 of them, you're going into the damage phase. Now, before we move on to the damage phase, there's still a lot that we need to talk about. Now that you understand the basic idea of what we're trying to do, let's talk about a few extra variables that Bungie tossed in there to trip you up. First, anytime you spend a few seconds in a telegraphed attack of any kind, you will acquire a stack of essence. If you get 4 stacks, you will die. If the timer on your essence expires, you will die. So a big part of getting to damage phase is managing your essence stacks. There is one way to purge your essence and remove it, and that's to stand on the central platform when a button is broken on the witness. It shoots a beam of light straight up through the central plate, cleansing all debuffs. So if you are managing ads and you want to get rid of your essence that you accidentally picked up, just hop down onto the plate when one of your runners is breaking a button and you'll be cleansed. Another way to manage your essence if you're not a runner is to simply let the timer trickle down and then intentionally pick up another stack from an attack on purpose. This will give you another stack, which is a little dangerous, but it will also reset your timer and extend your life. You don't want 4 stacks, obviously, but you could reset your timer and get to 2 stacks and just wait until damage phase when all debuffs are automatically removed. Alright, let's talk to the runners again. Runners, your job is pretty darn technical. Here are some things you need to know. Your goal when you shoot your first hand is to barely, just barely, dip into the telegraphed attack and shoot the bracelet and get the heck out of there in under 2 seconds. You'll see me in the gameplay often just flying through the attack and shooting the hand. That's because you do not want to pick up that essence if you can avoid it. Again, if you get 4 essence stacks, you die. So just dip in and dip out as quickly as possible to keep your stacks down. Another thing to note, the witness will get mad at you if you don't mix it up from time to time and break all 3 different hands at different times. If you only break square hands in rapid succession, he'll punish you by sending in extra hands into the arena and making it even more dangerous. At one point, we've had up to 6 hands all attacking simultaneously on the field, and it is pure chaos. So try to make sure that between you and the other runner, you are mixing up the hands that you're breaking from time to time to avoid this. Next, anytime you break a glyph, 2 subjugators will spawn, 1 on each end of the arena. So if possible, you could break glyphs around the same time as your other runner so that the subjugator spawns are kept to a minimum, because it won't spawn 4 at a time. So if you both go in at the same time, you break 2 glyphs, you're only going to get 2 subjugators instead of going in back to back, like at different times, and getting 4 total. So ad clearers, it is best to kill the subjugators as they spawn, as they will always do a polite bow when they spawn in, and that gives you a chance to do some big free damage. The next thing we need to talk about is the witness testing you. Every now and then when you break a hand to get your Glyph Breaker buff, the witness will decide to test your memory. He will ask you, hey, do you remember the shape of the hand that you just broke? Was it the circle hand, triangle hand, square hand? He'll put a grid up in front of you, and you'll have to break exactly 6 hourglass-shaped things in the grid to leave behind the shape of the hand that you just broke. There's 14 in total. Every shape is made up of 8 hourglass shapes, so you need to destroy 6. If you broke the B hand, you need to draw a circle. If you broke the triangle trap hand, you need to draw a triangle. If you broke the laser beam hand, you need to draw a square. I'll show you all of those shapes in a second, but first I want to show you this is the absolute easiest dead giveaway that this test is coming and how to know exactly what to draw for him. I see people get tripped up on this all the time. Oh, what was the last thing we broke? What do we need to draw? I don't know. Runners, this is on you. Whenever you break a hand, it just warbles and dies. But every now and then, it will randomly scream at you in a high-pitched squeal. It sounds like this. Square, gonna need to make a square. Shoot only the innards, leave the perimeter. This is your dead giveaway that the witness is going to test you. This is its tell. You don't have to remember, oh, what did I last break? If you just know every time it screams at you, boom, hey, that hand is what you need to draw. So here I broke the square hand, it screamed, I immediately called out that we were being tested and we needed to draw a square. Now let me show you the shapes. Here's my trusty little diagram I whipped up for you. The witness will show you 14 hourglasses. You need to break 6 of them to create the appropriate shape. If the shape is a square, then it's quite simple. You just need to break all 6 of the shapes in the middle area, leaving only the full perimeter behind. This makes a square. If you need to draw a triangle, this is also quite simple. You just need to break the 3 in the upper left corner and the 3 in the upper right corner. And if you need to draw a circle, this one is kind of weird. I just call out for everyone to eliminate the 4 corners. That's what I tell people, like, shoot the corners, please, all 4 corners. And then I will always shoot these 2 in the centermost upper region, the 2 just above the very center of the grid. That will leave behind a diamond-like shape, but it's supposed to be a circle, so just use your imagination. If you have created the right shape, you pass the test. If you fail, the witness kills all of you. It can't be avoided. It's a wipe. But if you pass, he's still going to try and kill you, but he will give you a chance to avoid death by simply jumping at the right time. Keep your eyes on the witness. He will reel back. He will pull his hands up, and his eyes will light up bright yellow. That is the tell. When the eyes light up bright yellow and you hear this shing, that is when you jump. Don't jump early, unless you're a warlock, doesn't matter, you can just hang out up there for 30 seconds, so whatever. Now, we've broken 6 buttons, and we've passed the witness's test. It's time for damage. This is the thing that breaks teams. This ends runs. The damage phase is not like standard damage phases where you just get to stand and deliver. The witness isn't going to just let you hammer him, he's going to fight back. He's going to be constantly bombarding the plate with attacks. The big thing here is to keep your feet on the ground and watch for telegraphed attacks. Like always, he will light up the plate early to show you where he is attacking. There are patterns to his attack. Usually it's right then left or left then right, so you just know that the follow-up is coming. His attacks come in diagonally, so in this case he raises his right hand, my left. So I'm going to move towards it because I know that attack is going to come in from the left and to my right. So I'm going to shift over to the left, avoid that attack. And then right after it, he's going to follow it up with another attack from the opposite side. So after I avoid the attack by going to the left, then I move to the right to avoid the follow-up attack that's coming in from the right to the left. And if he gets a headache, he's going to pull his hands up to his head like he's got a headache. That means he's going to blast the whole plate and I need to jump. When his eyes light up, that's the tell for the jump, just like before. So while you're doing damage, you're going to be moving left to right to left, jumping all over the plate. It's friggin' wild. And the thing is, everyone needs to know what to do and not panic, because it's very easy for 3 or more people to get one attack wrong and wipe most of your revive tokens in a single damage phase. And note that sometimes he'll make you jump to avoid an attack, but he'll also light up half of the plate to show you where the follow-up is going to go. So you'll have to jump specifically to the correct half of the plate, not just straight up and down. You could land right in the follow-up attack and get blasted if you're not careful. So the witness will show you that the damage phase is ending by pulling away from you, and his chest will glow white instead of yellow. Get in a couple of extra shots and then get out of there, because he's about to slam his fist on the entire plate and kill everyone who doesn't move. Once the damage phase is over, reset, do it all over again. If you're good on damage, you can easily 2-phase this like we did, but if you need to go to a 3-phase, don't hesitate to do it if you don't have enough ammo and you're worried we don't have enough heavy ammo to complete the final stand mechanic, which is pretty unforgiving, and you've got some spare tokens. Don't be afraid to just move to 3 phases instead and not push him. Now let's talk about final stand. If you push the witness to the final stand, you'll have a short window to kill him, so make sure you've got golden guns, still hunt charges ready to go. Hit him hard, hit him fast, but he'll also do his attacks back at you like normal, but in rapid succession, so you'll need to do damage while also avoiding the incoming attacks. So survive the first couple of attacks, and then go as hard as you can on him. I used Deterministic Chaos to both do damage while applying the weakening debuff for my teammates, and that worked out pretty well. Once you kill him, congratulations, take your loot. A couple of quick warnings and notes before I close out the video. Runners, sometimes your hand will despawn if you don't kill it quickly enough. There's still a 50-50 chance that you'll have the correct buff, so just go shoot it again and see what happens. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, and it lights up a different color and you gotta go get a different buff. Also, if extra hands are spawning on the arena, you gotta remember specifically which hand you're attacking, because there could be 2 horizontal hands, and if I shoot one to see the color, I need to make sure that I come back to the same horizontal hand and shoot the right one. So be diligent. Note the location of the hand you're attacking. Alright, I think that'll about do it. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, then feel free to leave a like on it and consider subscribing for more Destiny 2 content. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you out there in the Pale Heart. Bye-bye.